is Dan Kalida, and today I'll be talking about two different things. Number one, the definition psychology of learning, and then number two, to introduce you briefly about the three learning theories, which are behaviorism, cognitivism, and also social constructivism. Number one, definition psychology of learning. So in general, psychology of learning means it is a permanent change in your behavior, knowledge, and also performances that are based from your experiences. It is also on how people gain their input as well as interface with their own environment. So in education itself, it is actually a research on how students learn from inside and then outside of the classroom, and then to use it to exhibit or manifest it to a new cooperative approaches that can help students to become more persuaded, more galvanized, and focuses on a growth mindset to stay motivated, and thus encourages students for their academic success. Okay, so now you have known what is psychology of learning. Let's move on to the three learning theories. Learning theory number one, behaviorism. Behaviorism is actually a learning theory that is based on the idea that your behavior can actually be controlled or modified based on the antecedents and consequences of a behavior. It is more or less likely to reoccur based on the reinforcements and consequences of your own actions. For instance, you can always hear people say, you can watch the TV after you've done your homework, or you will receive detention if you're late for school. There are two conditionings in this behaviorism. Number one is classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is a learning procedure where a stimulus is presented in order to get a response. You can see this from the Pavlov's dog's experiment. And then also it associates an involuntary response and stimulus, which means that you do something in order to get something. Second conditioning is also known as the operant conditioning. It is actually where the learning procedure that occurs through rewards and punishment for your behavior. It is also where specific consequences are associated with a voluntary behavior. So you can see that the difference between both is classical conditioning is when you are involuntarily do something to get what you want. And then second, the operant conditioning is that you voluntarily do something and just receive the consequences or the rewards afterwards. I have inserted some pictures for you to understand. Learning theory number two is actually cognitivism. Cognitivism actually can be defined as the study of the psychology that focuses on your mental processes, including how people think, perceive, and learn. This focuses on the involvement in learning rather than absurd behavior. You can actually make it through like experiments and then based on the hypothesis and also other things like trial and error. It is actually where stimulus goes to the cognitive structures where you compare and contrast your things, and then lastly for the response, which is the results. The third learning theory, which is the social constructivism. Social constructivism is where human development that is socially situated and knowledge is constructed through the interaction with other people. It is actually an active process of learning or constructing knowledge that are based on, number one, learner's prior knowledge or belief. What have you been believed since you were still small? Number two, cultural and social context of learning. How do you grow up with? What kind of culture do you grow up with? Number three, collaborative and also cooperative learning, which means you will work together, and the key point here is scaffolding in order to obtain new knowledge. In here, I'll also insert to you Lev Vygotsk's theories, zone of proximal development, where there is actually a line between what student can do unaided, what student can do with guidance, and what student cannot do. So in order to achieve that, you will need scaffolding and work together cooperative socially in order to achieve the new knowledge. So that's it for the definition psychology of learning, and also the three main learning theories, which are behaviorism, Cognitivism and also social constructivism for me. I'm sorry if there are shortcomings or flaws from my videos, and I thank you all for watching this video and learn with me. I hope all my classmates the best, and goodbye.